So this is the practice observation assignment that we were tasked to do. So we were supposed to meet with Coach K at Techwood Stadium, learn about how he got into coaching, why he got into coaching, why women's track, just and then just learning about his background and everything. And we had that conversation, great discussion. But the weather did not permit for us to watch the full practice. So after I left, I came home and then I searched up some practices online on YouTube, and I found that Oklahoma State University recorded their open practice. This is old film back from like October of 2020, and so this was led by Coach Mike Boynton, who is still the coach now, and yeah, so I watched that, and this is what the video is about to be about. So here we go. So first question, what were two types of communications that the coach used? So two types of communication that the coach used is verbal and visual. Verbal, of course, letting players know what drills are next, teaching them the play. Well, not the plays, but the plays that they were using at the time, or introducing them to the new players. Giving positive feedback, instructive feedback. I wouldn't say negative because he never gave off that negative tone towards his players. It was always uplifting, always informing. So yeah, he recognized the players' effort, in the drill. Made sure to let the players know that he sees that they're trying. Reinforcing that in them. So that's the verbal part. Then the visual, of course, is when he was demonstrating the plays and players were confused about whether they would be. He would get on the court with them, run the play with him in it, and then show them where they're supposed to be, and then also just talking them through it. Showing it on the clipboard he had, running through the play there, and then showing it on the court. So yeah, he was very good in showing verbal and visual communication. The second one, what did you observe about the flow of how practice went? So the flow was great. It was seamless. I mean, there was little to no downtime between drills, even a water break. He designated two 1-minute water breaks, and after that, players got right back on, same intensity, same energy. So yeah, the flow of practice was great. You could tell that he had was well prepared with the detail of his practice schedule. So yeah, I mean that's the reason why he's the head coach. But yeah, the flow was seamless. What stood out about the structure of the practice plan? So the structure of the practice plan, basically, he saved the scrimmages and situational possessions for the end of practice. So basically just to incorporate everything they learned with the drills into what they would do in the game. And then the situationals at the end will also prepare players for a bunch of stuff that could happen, especially during now we're in March. So March Madness is a bunch of crazy things have already happened. So so yeah, just getting the players ready for literally anything when it comes to game time situations. So I liked how all of the drills were done early to get the players warm, and also you needed to incorporate them in the latter. They also had some scrimmages between the two, like toward in the middle of practice, where they were just going over the simple set plays that they had just introduced, and then it was little competition aspect to it, to where he would say, first team to 3 points, you get a stop. If you get a stop, that's 1 point. If you score, that's another. If you score on an assisted attempt, that's 2 points. Or if you score on a non-contested shot, that's another point. Stuff like that, just to keep the energy up and the competition alive in practice. So the structure of practice was great. I think if they continue that, which they did, they would make a good little run in March Madness, which they ended up doing with Kate Cunningham being their leading scorer. So next question is, what concept from the book or class discussion were you able to see in this practice? So definitely from the class discussion, you had talked about what I touched on earlier. Trying not to make a correction sound so negative, but letting them know that you're not entirely wrong, but here's how you can get better. Coach Boynton did a great job with that. I mean, on one player, he closed out way too hard, and so it led the defender to easily drive past him. But he made the effort to regain his position and get back in front of the man, and then having everybody switch back over to their position. So coach recognized the effort that he made and said that's good. You did great, but but he corrected him on closing out too fast. So just keep your hands up, recognize if he's a shooter or a driver, and just close out accordingly. So, just making sure that his players understand that he recognizes their effort, that you're going to make mistakes, but it's okay. That's what practice is for. I mean, it was literally the first practice, so yeah. So just informing and correcting his athletes without giving it a negative connotation, basically, which is what we learned in class. And then lastly, what did you learn from this practice that you can use in your own practice or life situation? Literally just staying focused on the goal. He touched on this topic at the end when they were wrapping up, and basically just not letting outside distractions influence what your goal is and what you're trying to do. You gotta kind of block that out and get focused on what needs to get done. So yeah, so basically just having that discipline to know what you need to do, how to do it, how to execute it, and then just getting it done, and then worry about all the other distractions after you get what you need done. So yeah, so that's what I learned from my life situation, really, honestly, because I could definitely use that focus. And yeah, so that's it, and those are the questions. All right.